Hey, welcome to Dissent Dialectics. This is a new project of mine where I'm going to start digging down into all the shit that really bothers me. The major focuses of this channel are going to be dialectics, selflessness, and truth. Now let me explain what I mean by those things. Dialectics is a philosophical term that involves the investigation of truth, especially when extremes are involved. This is something that the American populace seems to largely ignore. As a society, we're frequently diametrically opposed on so many topics, and when it comes down to it, more often than not, both sides are at least partially wrong. The most obvious and blatant example of this, as of late, is the two-party political system, but that's a topic for another video. Selflessness is self-explanatory. To be selfish is to lack consideration for others and to be primarily concerned with yourself. I would be inclined to say that all or almost all of us are selfish, at least sometimes. However, selfishness has become a particularly pervasive problem in the last few decades. Now, I am absolutely positive I'm going to offend the hell out of a lot of people with what I'm about to say, and I don't really care, to be honest, because we need to talk about this. The culture of the self, of vanity, and of selfishness has gotten totally out of hand, and it is hardly ever that someone bothers to speak up about it, because we live in a culture that tends towards the death of selflessness. If you don't believe me, check your favorite social media website. Truth is another topic that means a lot to me, and one that I think does not mean a lot to many people. The old saying, ignorance is bliss, really is true. The less you know, the better for your personal happiness and well-being, the key word there being personal. When it comes to anything, we need to know the truth. And again, I think in modern America in particular, there is an epidemic of subjectivity when it comes to the truth. This is a disease exacerbated by modern social issues and in particular the internet, and it's a disease I'm going to help cure. But before we get into the deep stuff, let me tell you a little bit about myself. At the time of this writing, I'm in my mid-20s. I live in suburban America somewhere on the East Coast. I work full-time as a professional in a STEM field. This should tell you right off the bat, I'm not a professional public speaker, so keep that in mind. It should be pretty evident what things I care about most based on what I've already said, so I'm not going to go into any more detail, because this channel isn't about me and my life, it's about the world. It's about you. It's about the real issues that you deal with on a daily basis. It's about exploration and self-awareness, and it's about critical thinking, a technique that unfortunately is not taught throughout the overwhelming majority of our schools. To put it bluntly, I think the world's intellectual baseline is pretty low. Now, I'm sure some people's hair just erupted into flames and they're heading to that comment box to leave a bunch of hateful and judgmental comments, so I'm going to tell you that I don't think I'm the most intelligent person in the world either. In fact, when it comes to a lot of stuff, sometimes I am about as smart as half a stick. I'm no vast political expert, I'm no master of economics, hell, I'm not even a programming guru, and that's what I've spent most of my life doing. My IQ isn't in the top 1% of the world, but it's not within 15 points of the average either. And I'm going to come right out and say this, sometimes the things I say will be wrong. They will be. Because that's the way life works. We aren't right 100% of the time. People make judgments based on their circumstances, no matter how self-aware they are and how good they might be at critical thinking, and I'm no exception. So let's set some boundaries, even though I'm certain there will be some that don't bother to follow them. If I say something in a video that you don't like, or that you don't agree with, great. That is the whole point of this thing. Dissent is right there in the name of the channel. That's what I'm all about. If we have differing opinions on what the truth is, when it comes to whatever it may be, we can work together to reach the truest conclusion we can. So go to that comment box, write me an email, tell me why I'm wrong. But there's a catch. I want you to do it intelligently and without making snap judgments. I'm sure many of you are laughing right now because it's the internet and that's probably not possible. I don't care. Don't leave stupid comments on these videos. If your comment is bringing down the collective intelligence of everyone reading the thread, I'm gonna delete it. It sounds pompous. I don't care. If someone isn't firm about things, we're never gonna get anywhere. If you don't like it, go ahead and post an angry comment. Put no thought or logic into it whatsoever. Be totally, horribly, vastly unaware of yourself. Act like a raging lunatic. Everyone will laugh at you, will call you an idiot because you are one, and I will delete whatever garbage you posted. So, topics. What are we going to be discussing here? What I talk about here is going to be a mixed bag. There will be some more scientific or statistical videos where I prove things with hard facts. There will be videos that are more based on emotion or feelings rather than appeal to reason. Most of these will probably deal with morality in some way. For those of you in the world of psychology, I'm talking about the rational brain versus the emotional brain. Some videos will have a mix of both of these things. Some of my videos will be argumentative, some of them will be apologist in nature, some will be straightforward, and some will be long-winded and even exploratory. Sometimes I might just ramble on for 30 minutes and never come to an answer. This means you're going to like some of my videos and you're going to hate others. Good. That means the two of us have depth. Sometimes I might get worked up about a particular subject or go off on a tangent ranting, and let's be real, sometimes I might say things that aren't true because I'm a human. Most importantly, I might contradict my own opinions as time goes on. I am assuming that if you look at it logically, you will see why whatever opinion I hold has changed, and if you don't, I want you to go ahead and call me out on it. We can have a discussion and a little thinking session, and we'll all be better off for it. So just off the top of my head, here's a list of things I want to talk about here eventually. Intelligence, mental health, the American medical and education systems for sure, solitude and companionship, generational social issues, for example, feminism and sexual trends, unhealthy habits, soft skills, romance, dialectics and moderation, the internet, mindfulness, the family unit, shitty drivers, self-awareness, philosophy, theology, and of course, politics. I would also like to spend some time talking about issues related to masculinity. I think something that a lot of young men and boys in our society face is growing up fatherless. Whether it's a father who's emotionally neglectful, physically or sexually abusive, or one who's just straight up absent, it's bullshit. And I want to provide some guidance to these boys so that they can grow up to be men. Now, I am no father. I have no children of my own, and I don't think I ever will. But I want to try and provide some reasonable guidance for these very lost young men so that hopefully they can start figuring their lives out. So as you can see from that, there's no one particular subject I will focus on, no release schedule, so don't expect new videos every Monday or anything like that. There will be no Twitters, there will be no Facebooks, there will be no Instagrams, there will be no Pinterests, there will not be any of that vacuous trash. Don't even think about it. Nothing of value has ever been stated in 140 characters or less. I will not beg you to subscribe. I will not beg you to like my videos. I will not make fake accounts or spam bots to pollute the comments section, and I will never put ads on these videos. I will not make a Patreon and beg you for money because I think information should be free. No merchandise, no monetization, no bullshit. The only thing I might eventually offer is an email address where you can send me questions seeking advice and I will respond in video form, but that's about it. So with all that being said, welcome to Dissent Dialectics. I'm sure I'm gonna piss a whole lot of people off, and like I already said, I don't care. If even one single person's life is enriched by the content of this channel, it will be more than worth it. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you around.